while they are wrapping up tuning, I wanted to welcome you here today, and thank you so much for being here today. My name is Dr. Rachel Dirks. I'm Director of Orchestral Studies here at Kansas State University, where I also teach string education and applied cello. And I'm so delighted to have these young musicians here today and all of you. I wanted to take a few moments to just introduce a few important people. Number one, the registration fees that you paid in order to send your students here to String Fling actually help pay for scholarships for student musicians who are non-music majors but would like to continue playing. So the K-State Symphony Orchestra is comprised of about 50% music majors and then 50% non-music majors, engineering, architecture, foreign language, all sorts of different things. And you are helping those students continue that dream through college. And so I want to thank you. I'd like for you to meet some of those student musicians right now. So K-State students, would you please stand and be recognized for your work this weekend? Thank you. And I said this last time as well, selfishly, these are some of the best people I've ever worked with, and so it's such a delight. So I thank you personally for continuing the scholarship program. Next year will be our 50th anniversary of String Fling. We are making some really cool plans for a really fun year, so we hope you will come back and enjoy another year of String Fling at Kansas State University. Would also like to take just a moment to thank your teachers for helping make this happen. I think this has been one of the more challenging things we've ever encountered as educators, the pandemic, and just kind of navigating how to continually make things new and different and be safe. And I want to thank your teachers for making that happen for your students and for bringing them here at this activity. So teachers, would you please stand and be recognized for your work? Thank you. Thank you. And of course, parents, if you are here and have stayed here with your students this weekend, I can't thank you enough. As a mom myself of two young adult musicians now, I know precisely where you are sitting. I have sat there. And I have driven there, and I have stayed in those hotels, and all the things. And so I want to thank you for making this happen for your kiddos. This is just such a delight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so privileged to introduce to you Mr. Nate McClendon, who is a colleague and friend and an extraordinary human being. Please help me welcome the 8-9B Orchestra under the direction of Nate McClendon.
a couple words. For me, to get to come and work with kids in this kind of situation is always, well, maybe not always a joy, but it's usually a joy getting to work with your kids. You know, they're your kids. You know what they're like. I've had a great time, and just, like I told them, we only spent like 6 hours together, basically, to put all this stuff together. And I want to let you know what we've been working on. Myself, as a musician and as a teacher, I think music is an incredibly powerful thing. And what we love about music is it transports us, whether back in time or emotionally, to feel and think and experience things that people have felt and thought and experienced throughout history. And we spend a lot of time working on concepts, thinking like a musician. My goal in the time that I had with your kids was not to teach them how to play notes or not to learn this technique or anything, but was to teach them how to think like a musician, so that when they play music, it's not just notes and rhythms, but they're actually saying something, that they're feeling something, and hopefully that you feel that energy too. And so that's what we've been working on. I tell them in situations like this, you know what, we're going to miss notes, things like that are going to happen. But the goal is, when we play, you should feel our energy on stage. And I hope we're achieving that. We've had fun putting that together. Hopefully you can feel the excitement and passion that these students have. We opened up with a piece by Mozart. We talked a little bit about what music was like back then. And back then, the idea was to not upset the king. Everything had to be nice and pretty and not offensive. And the last piece we played, called Wood Splitter Fanfare, is it a fanfare? Is a modern piece, and kind of the opposite. Our goal was to shock the king. Everything should have been very dramatic, very much like a movie soundtrack that you hear today. For our last piece, we're going to play a piece that you've heard before. It's called the William Tell, fanfare to the William Tell, the finale. So those of you that are of age might remember this from The Lone Ranger. I know when I was a kid watching that show, this was the theme song. And again, a very different type of idea, much more similar to the Mozart than the piece we just played. Anyways, I want you to know what we've been working on. Hopefully these are skills that they'll take back to their orchestras. And last thing, I want to encourage you as parents, please make the kids practice. They don't want to, most of them, and sometimes you don't want to hear it. But I tell you, what you get in return, you pay for it for a couple years, but what you get in return is amazing, because music, it's one of those things that you can have and experience and enjoy your entire life. When I was 22, stopped playing sports. Now that I'm 52, I couldn't even dream about playing a sport. It hurts just to stand up from the chair, right? But I can still pick up my instrument and play, and I can still listen. It's the kind of thing that shapes your entire life. It's something that you can have for your entire life. So the sacrifice, the dedication that you spend now, it lasts for a lifetime. So I want to encourage you to keep on encouraging them. Thank you.